Caitlin Clark's Fever faces one big hurdle going into the offseason, per Analyst. For most W fans, when you hear the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark comes attached. So when she announced she would not play in the 2025 season, everyone expected it to be an early Fever exit, but they managed to continue the fight even without her. So after pushing the eventual champions to a Game 5 OT in the SFs, many expect them to repeat, or even exceed, the accomplishments of the season. However, according to a WNBA analyst, they need to solve one big hurdle to do so because CC alone can't do it. Just like the rest of the WNBA, the Indiana Fever are also facing the uncertainty regarding their roster. As things stand, they have just 3 players, Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Michaela Timpson, signed for the next year. And with the way their squad gelled last season, they would want to bring back all, or at least most of the roster. However, WNBA analyst Cassandra Negley pointed out for position that they need to upgrade to compete. Speaking on a recent edition of the Hoops 360 podcast, Cassandra agreed with Ice Young's point that the Indiana Fever needed a better player at the for position. Further explaining her point, she said, "I would agree. I am excited for what this team was supposed to be. You're right, not every single player can come back. If you look at their roster, the for is definitely a question. Listen, Natasha Howard has incredible moments. She's clearly close to the organization. Like, it means something to her." After returning home to the Indiana Fever after a long time away, Natasha Howard was supposed to be an absolute force for the Indiana Fever. However, this season, she had a big dip in her performance despite Kelsey Mitchell crediting her for Fever's Commissioner's Cup. Yes, she was named the MVP of the final and also had clutch performances in the games leading up to the playoffs, but it wasn't consistent. Her scoring dropped to 11.4 points per game from 17.6 points per game the season before. On the other end of the spectrum, there were plenty of moments that made one question whether Tash was no longer in her prime. Therefore, the Indiana Fever need to decide whether to run it back or make a splash and sign a new superstar to pair Caitlin Clark and co with. Who could the Indiana Fever target to play with Caitlin Clark? It is no secret that almost 80% of the WNBA players are free agents this offseason. Therefore, there will be a lot of targets for teams to make the improvements as soon as the CBA is finalized. If the Indiana Fever decides to sign a new who could be some of the best targets? The first and probably the best target is certainly going to be Nneka Ogwumike, even though she is 35 years old. Her performance last year for the Seattle Storm did not hint at any decline. She ended the year averaging 18.3 points per game. With the Seattle Storm heading into a phase of uncertainty, with a new rookie head coach and all, Nneka might be tempted to leave for a better opportunity. Another player who could be a great addition is Kayla Thornton. While many considered her to be out of the league, Kayla had a season that, just like her Golden State Valkyries, surprised many. Before her season was cut short by an injury, she had a career year and even made it to the All-Star team. Her defense and impact on offense can be a great complement to Caitlin Clark's game and can further propel the Fever to return to a deep playoff run. One more player that could be a shock signing is Breanna Stewart. You might think that a player of her stature would be immediately re-signed by the New York Liberty. But considering the murmurs coming out of the Liberty front office since Sandy Brondello's firing, Breanna could sign somewhere else. Her signing would be a big shock to the league and would certainly establish the Indiana Fever as a title contender even before the season begins. Whether the Indiana Fever chooses to ride with the same squad or try to upgrade remains to be seen. However, one thing is certain. There are going to be plenty of big and shocking moves this offseason, only when the CBA is settled.